I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, if you're living your life in prose, well, it's about time you added some poetry to it. Stephen Perez is distinguishing himself as a sensational poet with words that touch your heart and impact your life. He's penned two inspiring works, one a collection of poems called Love Poems for Mary, and the other is called Poems of Me. We're delighted to have Stephen on Spotlight today and ask those like you at home watching to support writers like him by subscribing to our channel. Stephen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Love your work. I'm a big fan. Which book did you write first? Love Poems for Mary or Poems of Me?
Love Poems for Mary, my first book.
Okay, sounds great. Tell the folks at home what the collection of Love Poems for Mary are all about.
I'm a truck driver, and I met Mary. She's a real person. I met her at the truck stop in Corpus Christi, Texas, and we started seeing each other. And I started writing her the poems, and all the poems in that first book are to her. And just wrote them to her to let her know how I felt about her.
Wonderful, wonderful. And we're really happy that you shared them with us. And you have an occupation that you don't necessarily associate with poets. So it's kind of a dichotomy there. You're a trucker, a tough guy, but you also have a tender heart, obviously, because you've written some beautiful poems. Do you get that from people? Like they can't believe that this trucker is also a poet?
Not really. My friends know me that I'm that they really believe that I came out with them.
Okay.
And she really inspired me. She really inspired me.
That's wonderful, wonderful. What is your favorite poem from Love Poems for Mary?
Mine and also my friends is one that's called I'll Never Hurt You.
Any chance you would read that for
I'm
us?
sorry. I'm sorry. It's My Promise.
My Promise. Well, is there any chance you would read that for us?
I don't have. I'll have to get out the camera to get the copy. I don't have a copy.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Where was this one of the first poems you wrote to Mary?
No, not really. It's down about the middle of probably about 7 or 8 1.
Great. Now, the folks at home have to be like, okay, what's your relationship like with Mary? Are you boyfriend and girlfriend? Are you just, friends? Are you married to her now? I mean, you wrote a beautiful book of poetry for her. Tell us a little bit about Mary and the backstory there.
Well, like I said, I wouldn't say it was love at first sight, but she really tugged at my heartstrings when I met her. Now, she didn't feel the same way. It took me a year. For a year, she wouldn't even talk to me. And finally, I warmed her up, and I decided one day to write her a poem. And the first poem, if you notice, is the longest one. And I started writing it, and I couldn't stop. The words just kept coming out and kept coming out. I had to force myself to stop.
But, wonderful, wonderful. And when did you first present these poems to Mary?
This was happened at probably 2015, 2016.
And how did you know her? Did you knew her from a truck stop, you said?
She was a waitress at a truck stop.
This sounds like the making of a movie. You know that, right?
Well, in fact, my first publisher was more interested in our story. So I did actually write the story. I just haven't done anything with it. But
exactly, because you got these great visuals of this truck stop. I mean, you're on the road all day long, sometimes for days at a time, weeks at a time, maybe months at a time. I don't know. And you get to a truck stop, and it's got to be like seeing an oasis to see this girl that you're crazy about at the truck stop at the end of driving all day, right?
Yes.
And that's where the inspiration came. Now, where did you write these? Did you write these while you were in your rig?
No, I wrote them at home. In fact, when I don't drive cross country, this all happened. This is I deliver the mail for the post office.
Okay.
And so I'm home every night.
Okay.
So I would get in there 1 o'clock in the morning, and I would write. That's when I did my writing.
Gotcha.
And,
Now, when we make this into a movie, we're going to make you a long distance trucker, okay? Because that'll build up the dramatic,
yes,
you know,
that seems more. Yes,
reuniting between you and Mary. That
yes,
you know, you can't wait to get to the truck stop. You got to take a
right,
shower. You're going to call up the kids, and then you're going to
right,
see Mary, right?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
that'd be
actually,
cool.
it didn't work out. On her part, she said she just wasn't ready for a relationship. But I kept up with my writing, and she was my inspiration.
Okay, so it's a little bit of a sad note there, but not every love story works out.
That's
Uh,
right.
the the um the courts of America wouldn't be clogged with divorces if every love story worked out, right? That's for sure. But well, she inspired you, and you know, sometimes love in that state of not actually being fully realized is more enticing than actually getting the girl. It's like watching a movie. Once you get the
Right.
girl, the story's over. You
It's
know what I
over.
mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But yes,
Once that happens, the drama's gone. So you still have
right.
that drama in you, which is good. Do you still communicate with Mary? Are you guys still friends?
No, no, I haven't talked to her in over 2 years, I guess.
Does she know about the book?
But she got my first copy.
Okay.
She got the first copy.
Okay, great, great. That's awesome. Well, who
Actually,
knows
I
how
didn't
this
even.
love story will work out? You never
I,
know.
I didn't even. Actually, my. I just wanted one copy to give to her. That's all I wanted,
Right.
and everything else is icing on the cake.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And what kind of truck stop was this? I'm trying to get a visual for it. Was it one of the big chains or was it more of a local spot?
No, no, it was more like a mom and pop. It was just a local Corpus Christi truck stop was the name of it, and it's no longer there anyway. Uh, they a refinery bought it out and tore it down.
Gotcha.
But I had my memories though.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Club sandwiches, a cup of coffee, and an hour spent with Mary. Probably
Mary.
sounded like a wonderful afternoon or a wonderful evening, that's for sure.
Yes, yes.
Now, was this your first attempt at writing when you started writing these poems to
Well,
Mary?
actually, no. I had tried before and it just didn't come out. And like I said, that's why I said she was my inspiration. She really inspired me, and
Yeah.
it came out good, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're wonderful. They're wonderful. I don't have the book in front of me either, otherwise I would read them as well. But that's a good wake-up call to the folks at home. Think about getting the books by Stephen Perez. They're just wonderful. One is called Love Poems for Mary. The other is called Poems of Me. Tell me a little bit about Poems of Me, or at least tell the audience about the book.
The poems of me is more poems of things in my life. I wrote about Texas. This area got hit hard by Hurricane Harvey,
Mhm.
and in 2017, and I wrote about that. Just poems and different things in my life. I lost a daughter when she was young,
Mhm.
and I wanted to do something. I never knew what to do for her. And I finally wrote a poem about her.
And that's
So,
very sweet. Very sweet. You also wrote a poem for your dad. I saw that in there as well.
well, here in the area, I've gotten to where, and I submit them to the local paper for Father's Day and for Mother's Day. I usually write a poem
Mhm.
every year and submit it to the newspaper here in Victoria.
Very nice. Very nice. Do you have any other works? Are you going to turn your love story with Mary into a novel? Are you thinking about that or something?
Well, if somebody hits me up for it, I will. I have 25 more poems that I'm ready to publish,
Nice.
and I've also written. I just finished writing my first novel.
Oh, tell us
So
about
I'm
your
hoping
novel.
it's a western.
Hmm.
Uh, I love westerns. Louis L'Amour is my favorite writer,
Hmm.
and see how that happens. See how that goes.
That sounds great. So is it a traditional Western, like we could put a young Clint Eastwood in it or a Chris Pine or something?
Uh, Probably so. Yeah, I'd be young. The title is Brody Thompson, Texas Ranger,
Hmm.
and him and his friend, who is a U.S. Marshal, go after these bank robbers. But it's also a love story, kind of at the end. So it's got a good ending. Well, sad but good.
Sounds well, sad endings are kind of the ones that touch you the most. Like I said, when the guy gets the girl, for me, it's all over. I've been watching a series on TV. It's called CB Strike. It was written by J.K. Rowling. It's about a private detective. First season was wonderful when he was trying to get the girl. Second season, he's got the girl. I'm falling
That's
asleep
it.
on the
That's it.
series. So
Yes,
sometimes not getting the girl is the right thing to do. Well, the
yes.
books are called Love Poems for Mary. The other is called Poems of Me. They're both wonderful explorations of love and life. They're written by a man who is a trucker by day and a poet by heart. And he has tapped upon something inside of himself that will touch something inside of you as well. They are terrific and highly recommended, available everywhere books are sold, including Amazon. Stephen, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.